Welcome back to Brain Break with Randy and KeithO. I wanted to tell you a story that I hope you'll find humorous. Years and years ago, I was a scout leader in El Paso, Texas, and I also had the responsibility of teaching these boys their Sunday lesson in church. I always brought a briefcase, had my scriptures in it, and a bag of candy for the boys. I opened it up. It was a hard side Samsonite. And I'd open it up, and I always told them that I had a cattle prod in my briefcase. Now, I was joking. I didn't have a cattle prod. But one Sunday, one of my uncles came to visit, and he just so happened to be hauling bulls. And he spent the night with us. He was getting older, so he didn't make it to church. But I asked him, I said, "Hey, Uncle Rex, could I borrow your cattle prod?" He said I could. So I charged it up, put it in my briefcase. Now, what I did on Sundays is I had four rules. If the boys were on time, they wore a tie, a white shirt, and they carried their scriptures, they would get four fun-sized candy bars. And I typically had Snickers or something like that. Had a whole bag of them. And I would pass them out based on their performance and if they were on time and whatever. And one boy came in late, didn't bring his scriptures, and he wasn't wearing a tie. So I gave him one. He didn't like that. Now kid was he was huge. He went to a different high school than most of the boys, but he was an all-state football player. We were in El Paso, Texas. One, El Paso hadn't had an all-state football player in a number of years. And two, if you were a all-state football player in Texas, you're going to go pro probably. That's a state that they love football. You know, the movie Friday Night Lights and all that. Yeah. So he stood up, wanted more candy. And I said, I can't. You know what the rules are. Next time, come on time, wear a tie, bring your scriptures. And so he grabbed one of the other boys' scriptures. He says, I've got my scriptures. Those are not yours. Those are Brad's. One of the boys take off a tie. I said, you've already taken, you come in without a tie. The idea is to come in with a tie. So he got frustrated with me and stood up. Well, like I say, I had this cattle prod. My intent was to show it to him, just call his bluff. He walked into it. Now, this boy was well over 6 feet. Well over 250 pounds. I don't know how much he weighed anymore, but he went down, and he went down hard. And I told one of the boys, go get his dad. And they ran to get the dad. And the dad came in, saw him on the floor, and just shook his head in wonder. And I said, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do this. And he says, no. He says, it's okay. He probably deserved it. He's been acting up a bit lately. I said, well, again, I'm sorry. He says, where can I get one of those? Another interesting story about this boy. He had been offered scholarships to some amazing schools. The problem is one of the boys was smarter than I was, checked out where the institutes of religion were for our church, and they didn't have any, which meant he'd be basically going to a school which didn't have the opportunity for him to learn more about the gospel and to be strengthened by other people from our church. And this kid was already heading down the wrong path. So this group of boys decided to pray and fast for this young man. And to make a long story short, they did. And one school he said he would never attend was Brigham Young University. And that's where he attended. Now, he didn't go pro, made other choices, but he's a good man. And it was an amazing experience to watch him, not only in high school, but then in college, be a player and move through his life. I'm grateful for the association I had with those boys. When we moved 4 years later to Mesa, Arizona, I got the same exact opportunity working with a different group of boys. And I had that for at least another 4 or 5 years. And I learned a lot from those boys, taking them camping, taking them on super activities, guiding them through illness. sometimes through death and accidents. But I was very grateful for that opportunity, and I really enjoyed my time working with those young men in both locations, in El Paso and in Mesa. They're great young men. Like I say, now they're grandfathers. I'm grateful to know them. I wasn't that much older than them. I was probably 6, 8 years older than them. I was asked to do this when I was pretty young. So let me thank you for listening and ask if you would please like and subscribe for more stories like this. And if you can, tell your friends about us. I appreciate all of you are doing. I hope you enjoy these stories. If you have any comments on how I can improve or stories you'd like to hear more about, I would be honored. Thank you.